What's up everybody? Today I just want to make a guide covering the legendary aspects in Diablo 4. I want to go over them and just make sure there's everything here to make sure that you get the aspects the easiest way, use them correctly, and then some additional tips that the game doesn't teach you. So first up, what are legendary aspects? Every piece of legendary gear you obtain has a piece of orange text at the bottom. This orange text is the aspect of the gear. It's a special effect that can be related to certain features or to your class, such as fireballs doing more damage, or when you use a certain ability, get a movement speed buff or regain health. So they're really important, and a build is more than just where you put your skill points. If you look at a build online, a lot of the key things that make that build a success are the combination of different aspects on your gear, and getting them is really important. Getting the right ones is even more important. So that's what the legendary aspects are. There's another thing in the game which comes at the same time, and it can be confusing as well. So let's go over that. And that's the Codex of Powers. It's a giant book full of these legendary aspects. And completing dungeons grants you these specific aspects powers that are placed in the Codex. So these are not random. You can farm the dungeons for the aspects you want and fill out your Codex. So you can go into the Codex, click on just your class, and you can see all the ones for your class, what dungeons to go for them, and they are fixed. However, not every aspect in the game is in the Codex. So the Codex is a good way to get lots of aspects unlocked, but then additional aspects will drop on gear in the game. So yeah, it's good to think of the Codex as like a base. The Codex is a place to gather and get lots of base aspects that you can put on your gear. And then as you're trying to finish a build, you do have to go and farm gear. Okay, that out of the way, let's go into extracting and imprinting these legendary aspects. So if you go over to the occultist, you'll find a legendary item that you want to keep the aspect for. You pay a small fee and some materials. The easiest way to make gold early in the game is just to sell gear to the vendors. And then the materials come from salvaging the gear. So you've kind of got to do a bit of both, a bit of vendoring and then a bit of salvaging to have enough to get these aspects, because you're going to be using them quite a lot. You're going to be extracting these quite a lot. Once you've extracted the aspect from a legendary item, it goes into the aspects tab in your inventory. And then once you find an item you want to put that on, you can hold it for as long as you want. But then when you want to put that on a piece of gear, that gear doesn't need to be a legendary. So you've taken it from a legendary, but you can put it on, say, a yellow. So the best thing about this is you don't just extract an imprint from gear that you've over leveled. You can do it from gear that has better stats. So there might be a legendary that has dex and some other stuff that you don't care about. And then you find the perfect chest piece that has intelligence, cooldown reduction, mana reduction, all these things that you really, really want. You can then take the aspect, put it on that, and you've got the perfect piece of gear for you, and it becomes a legendary. It becomes your best piece for that area, which is really, really helpful, especially early in the game when you don't have tons and tons of legendaries at your disposal. So another thing to be aware of is when you do extract from an item, you don't get the transmog. You don't get the look for your wardrobe. That's just when you salvage. So do be careful if you've got something you really like the look of. You might want to salvage that anyway because you want to get, the really cool sword in your wardrobe. Okay, next up, what aspects should you extract? So given you have to pay gold and materials, you can't really extract every single thing you see. So what should you focus on extracting? I would say look up a build guide or have an idea for a build you want. So if you're playing a sorcerer like I am at the moment, you want to go, say, a lightning build, you'd look up things that have plus lightning damage or plus lightning orb damage or whatever you're using in that build, or other buffs to lightning spells. Necros would be on the lookout for things that buff minions or whatever your build is. So I'm making a build at the moment which synergizes lots of barriers. So anything that gives barriers or buffs barriers, or when you use a barrier does this, I'm extracting those and trying those out in the build. Another huge tip is to look how good the aspect is, and the game doesn't show you this. So in the game originally, you can see in yellow what the aspect does, the effect. So it falls within a range. So for example, if you see something gives plus 15% damage to fireball, that's not the whole story. That aspect has a range, a permanent range on that aspect of what it can be. And it could be between 10% and 50%. So that's not the gear, that's that aspect. The named aspect will always be between, say, 10% and 50%. So if you have a 15%, that's kind of a bad aspect. It's kind of a weak roll on that aspect. So if you go into your options and you turn on advanced tooltips, it will show you in gray next to the ranges what that aspect can be. So if you have an aspect that can be anywhere between 20% and 40%, and you have something that's 40%, you've got really lucky and just rolled really high on that aspect. So it's probably worth extracting it or at least keeping it in your stash for later. And then on the flip side, don't feel bad about getting rid of something that's rolled really, really low. So it's again, say if it's 20% to 40% chance and you've got something that's 20%, you're probably going to find better in the future. So feel free to just salvage away. Finally, our aspects are count bound for alts. Let's talk about that. So Blizzard has made things really alt-friendly in Diablo 4. I think they could have made this a lot more punishing. They've got a history of making things a little rough, but they've done a really good job this time because the codex is completely shared. You can farm aspects and then use them on your alts. So if you're playing a druid and you complete a dungeon, get to the end and you unlock a rogue aspect, that's there if you ever make a rogue in the future. On top of this, the stash is also shared. So if you get a really good legendary, you can just save it in there, or any other items or gold or materials. You can save it all and use it on your alts. You will have to get to level 25 and unlock the occultist on any character you plan on using aspects on. But yeah, that's it. It's really alt friendly. Hopefully that's everything. There's one other thing in that these aspects don't transfer, like a low end aspect doesn't transfer onto like a really high end gear, because once you get to the high levels, like 50, 70, that kind of thing, gear does change. There's like a new version of gear. But don't worry about that in the 1 to 50 play. And then once you get over 50 and get to all the new stuff, it'll kind of start making more sense. But yeah, something to be aware of for the future. So don't worry about hoarding all your level 10 legendaries. Yeah, try and get your build going as you're playing. Try and have fun. Make new builds. Make new, make new synergies. Try different things and have fun. Don't worry about hoarding everything. Just enjoy the game. Have fun. Things rework themselves later in the game. But yeah, that's it. I just wanted to go over and explain these legendary aspects and give more information if it's confusing, or just talk over it. Sometimes it just helps just watch someone talk about the system for a while. So hopefully this has helped. Also some extra things in here that I learned only recently and later in the game. So yeah, hopefully you found this useful. If you've got any other tips about legendary aspects, let me know down below. If the video's helped, drop in a like helps. And if you've got any other things you wanted a talk over, so I don't know, end game content, end game stuff, other systems in the game that you're a little confused about, let me know and I'll try and make another video like this. But that's it for here. Subscribe for more. Take care. Enjoy Diablo. Let me know what you're playing as well, because I'm ready to make an alt soon. I'm ready to try a different class. I'm getting pretty far on Sorcerer and I want to try some new stuff. So let me know what you're trying. Is it fun? But that's it. Take care. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.